Hey, how's it going, YouTube? J2H back here for a different type of video. I'm splicing this in on my collection videos this week. I talked about this in my vlog. I took a vote on Instagram and YouTube and said, hey, should I do this? Should I not? You guys voted in favor of me doing it, so I'm going to do it. I'm just going to preface this by saying that the reason I didn't know whether I want to do this or not was not because I don't think my opinion's worthwhile or etc. Um, Quite frankly, the Star Wars fan base is a little scary, and I'm not saying that like intimidating, like they're gonna kill me. If they stepped up to me in real life, they'd shit their pants. I'm a pretty big dude. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Star Wars fandom can be so toxic, and so many people just hate and hate. There's so much hate in the Star Wars fandom, and I just wanted to do something a little cool, something a little different, get some love. So that's all this video is gonna be. If I had to choose how Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, if I were to choose how it would go, that's what this video is going to be. So if you're already not interested, just click away. I don't want you here. But that's all. The comment section, I don't want people being dickheads. And the other thing, besides, how, toxic the fan base is, I also don't want to be spoiled. Now, I have tickets for Thursday, which is probably the earliest showing I know of besides the leaked script. So spoilers in the comments, you'll be blocked. Hopefully, don't spoil it for me. But even Thursday, Saturday, as this movie comes out, all spoilers will be removed. Period. Even if I've already seen the movie, you're not spoiling it for me. Potentially, you're spoiling it for someone else. Now, with that being said, realistically, I just want to talk about how I would not book is a term I use because I'm a pro wrestling fan. But if I were to write the ending of the Star Wars saga, Episode 9, what I would want to see. So that's what we're going to talk about. Essentially, um, I really liked The Force Awakens, and I thought Episode 8 was okay. Not the greatest thing I've ever seen. I didn't necessarily like the Casino Planet stuff. I don't think that was very popular as it is. But that's how I felt too. It wasn't my favorite. But I didn't hate that movie like a lot of people did. I didn't, the F Disney ruined everything, blah blah blah. I ain't about that life. I just like what is given to me, whether I like it a lot or whether I'm like, that wasn't so good, like Solo, personally. So, but I mean, I would want to see, um, I would want to see a Rey heel turn. So I would want to see Rey join the dark side. And I don't, you could say that's not going to happen because this. You could say it's not going to happen because it's not a happy ending. It's not a happy ending to who? It's my happy ending. If if the opposite happened, that wouldn't be a happy ending to me. I wouldn't leave happy. So, and you could say, oh, it's Disney. They're not going to have her joining the dark side. But I mean, they could. They've had things. They've had bad things happen in the past. I mean, Rogue One. I mean, that movie. Spoiler alert. It's a couple years old. Everybody fucking dies. Like it's possible. So that's what I would want to have. I would want to have Rey turn and join Kylo Ren on the dark side, and they would rule from there. Now, whether the Force Ghosts show up and tell him not to, etc., that's up for debate. But that's where I would start. I would have those two end up together, um, and I would have at that point it would be Finn and her name is Rose, I believe, from the eight. Now I kind of contradict myself because I don't see that happening. I really don't. Like again, this is fantasy. This is all J2H's. If I could write this, that's what I would write. Um, but you couldn't have Ray end up with Finn. If one's on the light, one's on the dark. So that's so I contradict myself. So let's go scenario A. That would be the best. So scenario B. Let's say Kylo Ren joins the light side, which is uber predictable, and that seems to be what everybody think is going to happen. Seeing as how he's the last Skywalker, and it's called the Rise of Skywalker. Um, I still wouldn't want in that scenario. I wouldn't want Rey and Kylo Ren or Ben. I would assuming at that point end up together. I wouldn't want that. I want Rey and Finn to be together. I've shipped them since Episode 7. Um, I'm not a huge fan of Rose. I think they introduced her just to kind of pull Finn towards her and not towards Rey, because I think Rey and Finn may have initially, were supposed to end up together, or at least be a love interest for one movie. But I like those two together. I'm not a huge fan of Rose. I'd rather those two just end up together instead of Ben and Rey and then Finn and Rose. Why not just put those two were good together? That's most of the premise of Episode 7 is Finn wants to go get Rey. Friend more than friend. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The premise was he wants to go get the girl. The girl. He wants the girl. He doesn't want this random girl who follows him and attempts to kill herself and then kisses him right at the last second. That seemed kind of shoehorned to me just a little. So that'd be like a scenario B. But I don't know. Let's go back to scenario A. So again, if Rey turns to the dark side, which has been teased in the promos, in the TV spots, in the trailers, and even by the Funko Pops, I actually pre-ordered a Funko Pop. I think it's called Dark Rey. And I don't know if it's just a promotional material. I don't know if it's a Force Vision or a Dream. But the reason I pre-ordered it and not just bought it outright was A, it doesn't come out till January. And B, when I pre-ordered it, if Rey doesn't come to the dark side, if it's just a promotional material, I can cancel the pre-order. So it's a lot like when Game of Thrones this year came out with the Funko Pops of everybody sitting on the throne. I wish those would have been a pre-order because I would have, not bought. I bought the Jon Snow one because I think he should have ended up on the throne. Don't at me. But, yeah, it's the same scenario. I think they just put him out just in case she goes to the dark side. But, I mean, realistically, does anyone really think she's going to? I mean, I would like for that to happen. I'm more of a root for the villains. But that's what, if you think about it, this is supposed to be the saga. It's supposed to be Anakin's saga. So 1, 2, 3, he's Vader. 4, 5, 6, it's his redemption arc. So why can't they join the dark side at the end of the 9? That's how I would do it. And I know it's the last one, so even if they join the dark side, they don't have to go from there. I mean, they don't have to continue it. Maybe those two just rule the dark side for the foreseeable future. And, from then on they create this huge system that people, rebel against, etc., and it starts the whole thing over again. You don't have to have those characters again. And I'm pretty sure those characters have came out and said, we're retired, blah, 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 we're not going to do anything Disney Plus, etc., which is fine. So that's what I would want. Other things I'd like to see in the movie, like, hypothetical, all hypothetical, I don't know anything. I probably know less than everybody else because I don't watch the trailers because I'm so excited for it. The Palpatine thing really interests me, but I think it's is it a red herring? Yeah, I think it's a red herring. It could be the same. It could be a simple like a Force Ghost or a one-off or a flashback. A flashback would be nice. But I think it'll be interesting. I hope they get the actor back. Speaking of actors back, I would like to see the Knights of Ren. I really hope they do something with that / explain those. That's another thing with Funko Pops. Unfortunately, they get the info early, so they release the Funko Pops, and they release like 5 Knights of Ren, and they each they're described by the weapon they're carrying. So that would be cool. I'm really interested to see who they are, why they're with him, what they did or what they do, or if they're still around. I think that was one thing in 7 I really was like, oh, cool. I can't remember if it was in 8. It might have been a little bit, but they just, they have to touch on that. I would really like, and I've heard some, depending on videos, I think they mentioned it in the Crazy Joe Serial at Midnight video, which is amazing. I recommend you watch that, maybe even before this. They mentioned that Hayden Christensen, aka young Anakin Skywalker, could potentially be in this movie in some way, shape, or form, and I think that would be awesome. Star Wars Episode 3 is one of my favorites. I know it's not a very popular opinion, but it is. It's in my top 3 because I like the journey to the dark side, and maybe that gives you a little more insight into why I'm picking how I am for the Episode 9. But it excites me that they could go that way. So I think him, even don't de-age him. Why do you need to? I think right now the actor would actually be about. I think he'd look like a decently Anakin right before or right after he transitioned to Vader. I'm trying to think timeline wise how old Vader was supposed to be when he turned into Vader. But I don't think with Hayden Christensen, he's only aged since that movie 15 years. He probably looks like an adult, like he would be Kylo Ren. Maybe doesn't look like his grandpa, but he looked like more like his dad and not, a younger version of, or a significantly older version. So I'd like to see that. Anything else? Now this is and this is a spoiler for the Mandalorian show. Not much because the internet kind of spoils it. It's only spoiling the first episode. But I'm interested to see if there's not maybe a Baby Yoda cameo. Maybe they age him up because this would be significantly after the show takes place. Disney Plus is moving the Mandalorian episode 7 to drop Wednesday before the show. So maybe that has something to do with it. This is just spitballing. But I think I would like to see that. Even if it's not in the background, because he's a major character now that the internet's just exploded with Baby Yoda stuff. But I think that would be cool. Just like hey, there's put him in, make it canon. It is canon because it's Disney and it's Lucasfilms and etc. But I would like that. Anything else? I mean, nothing crazy huge. Poe, Leia. I hope she's not in the movie much, simply because I know it's all archive footage, so she can't be in the movie much. But I think her stuff needs to be short and sweet, and I look forward to that. I'm sure Luke will be in it. I'd like to see more from the past, but not to the point where we're overdoing it. Like I don't think Yoda. I don't think older Yoda, actual Yoda, not baby Yoda. I don't think he would be necessary. Luke would be okay. Palpatine's in it in some shape or form, even if it is just like you know, I think an Obi-Wan cameo. I think the actor. I think the actor who played the original Obi-Wan. I think he's since deceased. I'm not very familiar with the actors. I think he's deceased, so it'd have to be what's his name? Is it Ian? I don't know. The guy who played him in the first three. It's gonna drive me nuts. It's right on the tip of my. I don't know. It's gonna drive me nuts. I don't want to just sit here and think about it. I think a cameo from him would be really cool. God, he's the dude from I Love You Man. It's Jim Carrey, and it's not Philip Morris. Not I Love You Man. I Love You, Philip Morris. We're going on a tangent. I'm sorry. I think a cameo by him would be great. Um, maybe a reference to Vader. I got my Vader ugly sweater here, representing, and my Star Wars blanket back there. I think anything Vader would be cool. I've seen some fan arts, and I think it'll actually be the clickbait thumbnail for this video will be a really cool fan made poster with Vader with the two lightsabers. I think that's awesome. If he was in it in any shape or form, would be cool. But I'm rambling at this point. I'm really trying to. Is it Charles something? No. Hold on just a second. It's Ian McGregor. There you go. Ewan McGregor. I asked Alexa, so sorry, that was gonna drive me nuts. So anyway, that's me rambling and getting my set. That I wanna talk Star Wars, but I don't want the hate and the toxicity. Please be nice. I would love to talk to you in a positive manner. Maybe there's some stuff from the old canon, the Star Wars Legends that you'd like to see brought in. I don't know anything about that stuff. I'd love to. I'm gonna expand upon that. I only have one book, so but yeah, let me know what you'd like to see. Again, without crazy spoilers. How you would book it. Rey going to the dark, Kylo Ren going to the light, or neither. Maybe Rey, Ren. You never know. Maybe Ben. Killing Rey. I'd like to know Rey's parentage. I can't believe I didn't mention that. How you not gonna mention that? I think they brushed it off in episode 8, but not to the point where they can't revisit it in episode 9. They kind of have to touch upon it. It's such a huge deal. Oh, and Snoke. How did I not remember that? Like, who the fuck was Snoke? And I swore, my bad. Who was Snoke and why was he important? And how do you get there? There's several questions, man. I'd like to hear that answer. And maybe I'd hate to say this, if they don't answer it, maybe between a comic book and a book or a video game, maybe a Disney Plus series, we'll figure it out. Sorry, I had tacos. We'll figure it out. But I want to know Snoke. Rey's parentage. I feel like I had these questions before 8. Not that that's a huge deal. Wait until the last movie, but you got to tell us now. You know, it's the movie's got a 2 hour, 48, 47 minute runtime, like 3 hour movie essentially. You know, tickets are for 6. I'm planning on not being home till 9:30. You know, and that's if I just watch it one time. Um, which stinks because there's a 9:25 3D showing, so I could have done both, but I won't. That one's 3D though, and my wife won't go for that. Annie Hoozle. So yeah, let me know in the comments. You know what you think will be answered, what questions you want answered, how would you do it? What you definitely what you thought of mine. You know, am I just harsh and I'm a hater and I'm not a Sith? But am I you know a dark side fan? Is that am I fanboying out by thinking that Rey would actually go to the dark side? Um, the Baby Yoda stuff. I love talking Baby Yoda, man. I share Baby Yoda memes on my personal Facebook page all day. I probably drive people nuts with my Baby Yoda, but he's adorable. Um, if my son hadn't been born yet, I would have tried to convince my wife to name my son Yoda. I'm just kidding. But so let me know in the comments, and if you don't mind, give this a like and subscribe if you really liked it or if you care at all. But really, let me know in the comments. You know, was the video worth your time? Did you agree with anything? Really, you know, I was on the edge of doing this video. So if you enjoyed it, if you absolutely hated it, let me know, man. I gotta know what you guys are actually thinking. You know, everybody's so positive, but they don't tell me, hey, I liked it. They're just like, hey, nice video. I'm like, no, tell me if you liked it. You know, did I talk too much? Did I not talk enough? Did I do things out of order? Did I suck completely? Just you gotta let me know. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you stuck through the whole thing. Hopefully everybody enjoys Rise of the Skywalker. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it now. Comment section. Keep it clean and read at your own warning because you know you never know. Someone could post a spoiler and I hadn't caught it yet, so just be careful. And please don't spoil it for anyone else, man. I mean, waited how long for this movie? It's the last movie. Just be cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll catch you later, YouTube.